Good morning, beloveds. I kind of relate to Alexander Hamilton from the play where it says you write like you're running out of time. There are all these things that I would like to do, and I just think I have all the time in the world. But I was buying tickets to a show because I have a friend who he and his wife run a nonprofit theater. And they're amazing. And so I want to go see their show Saturday night. So I was trying to buy tickets for it. And I'm sitting here and trying to get the tickets. And the cat comes out and goes, "Aren't you supposed to be doing something?" And I went, "Dang it. Yes." So, fortunately for me, I'd already prepared the snack, the bribe that I brought in here so that I could, if I needed to move him off my spot. So he's happily eating, and now I'm currently distracting the other one so that he doesn't steal the bowl. But it was funny. I look up and I hear this sound, and I'm like, and I look at the clock and I went, "Oh, I'm supposed to be doing something." All right. It is June 3rd. Our title is Happiness. Our first quote is, "Then will I go unto the altar of God, and unto God my exceeding joy." And that is Psalm 43:4. The second quote is, "Happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection." And that is from The Science of Mind, page 264. All right, let's get into this. Did you ever stop to think whether those whom you meet are glad to see you? What kind of messenger are you? Do you carry to others a spirit of happiness, or are you mantled in black crape? Is there printed upon the page of your personality a tale of misery and failure that saddens the hearts of all that you meet, or can there be read that from your presence a message of joy and happiness and loveliness? How many are there who are messengers of loveliness? It is not difficult to be happy and lovely. One need only eliminate ugliness from the mind and choose beautiful things to discuss. Refuse to use words or ideas or reports that depress. The days of our lives fly by swiftly. We are all messengers of joy, of loveliness, of happiness. Each day, if we are thoughtful and work at it, we can offer fine words and fine acts, inspiration, affection, courage, love, and happiness to the hearts of others. And always, happiness will reflect back to us. The joy of spirit abounds in my heart and mind, and the clear laughter of God lifts me above all unhappiness and grief. My ears are open to receive a joyful sound of the ever-unfolding life about me. The trill of a bird, the giggle of a child, the soft breeze on my cheek, all reveal to me the joyousness of God. My thoughts are filled with happiness, and my heart sings with love. The joy of living is mine. And that is W.M. Not sure if we read W.M. yet or not. Let's find out who W.M. is. William Miller. No, we've read William Miller before. All right. So, as ministers and practitioners and just people, we walk this line of there are sad things happening in the world. There are horrific things happening in the world. And yet, day-to-day life still happens. And while there are crazy-making things happening in the world, we still deserve to be happy. Okay? And it's one of those things where you have to step back and ask yourself, what is mine to do? All right? Because we can't fix the entire world. Or we can, but we have to choose where we start. And honest to God, there is only one place that you can start to fix the world. And that's you. Okay? Which is why I said we deserve to be happy. All right. So my goal in life is to be an island of peace and calm. I can be an island of joy. I can be an island of happiness. I want to be, as William Miller says, a messenger. I want to be a messenger that it's gonna be okay. And I like to think that most of the time when people encounter me, that they read printed on me a tale of mostly happiness. And occasionally, because we all have those moments where we look at our life and we go, what have I done with my life? Well, I have an advantage of I happen to be a photographer, and I love to take pictures. And so when I was taking a class called Self-Mastery 100 years ago, I decided to go and look at my childhood because I had a difficult childhood. And yet when I said that to my mother, she was like, no, you were an easy child. Okay. So apparently I was an easy child to raise, but I encountered some difficult things. I had experiences probably that she's completely oblivious of because she's my mother and I'm kind of self-contained, which is one of my issues. But I needed to convince myself that I had had a happy enough childhood, you know? And so I did. I went back and I dug through the pictures that she had given me. There were pictures that I had taken pictures of, that she hadn't given me. And, you know, I kind of put together this thing and to stimulate my memories of the good things that were in my childhood. And I did the same thing for my ordination where I just kind of dug through a lot of pictures. I used those pictures from that self-mastery class. I dug up pictures from ministerial school. I dug up pictures from the Renaissance Festival. I dug up pictures from my wedding. I dug up pictures from just what I've done around CLC to see the joy. And I created a slideshow. Now, there are 350 pictures in that because I told you I'm a photographer. I love to take pictures. And I like to get pictures taken. So I'm not one of those photographers that you never see. No, you get to see me. To remind myself. And so now I have that so that I can turn on that slideshow, watch that stuff and look and go, no, look at all of these points of joy. So that when I have those moments where things are not going according to plan, because, you know, what they say, God laughs when humans make plans. When things aren't going the way I think they should, I have this resource to fall back on to go, oh, no, look at all these points of joy. Okay? Because that is who I want to be. But I also understand that there are times. There is a time and a place for the rest of the emotions. There is a time to be sad. There is a time and a place to be sad. There's a time and a place to be angry. There's a time and a place for all of those other emotions. And the goal is not to inflict them on others. Okay. I will say, what is it that they say? A grief shared is halved. A joy shared is multiplied. So when we have those sad, because we can't be happy 100% of the time because things happen. We make sure that we share those moments with people, in a safe space, in a safe way, so that everybody gets their needs met in the grief. And we all come out of it feeling better, which is the entire point of memorials and funerals and what have you. They are not for the person who has passed. They are for the living. Straight up. I had that. My aunt didn't want a memorial, and I looked at my mother, well, it was on the phone, and I said, no, the memorials are for the living. She may not have wanted one, but you and your brothers and sisters absolutely can have one. And it was wonderful. So, so you manage those emotions, you manage the anger, you manage the grief in appropriate and safe spaces, with appropriate and safe people. And then you can do the happiness the rest of the time. All right. So that you are not a printed page of misery and failure, as he says. And if you feel like you are a printed page of misery and failure, then what do you need to do about that? Perhaps you need to perhaps you need to create a slideshow, which is what I did. Perhaps you need to seek professional help. I have been in therapy a number of different times. It has always been very helpful. Perhaps you need to see your primary care physician and have them prescribe a medication that you take short-term or long-term. Because trust me, the drugs don't make you happy. What they do is they help you clear your mind so that you can see your life clearly. And then you can find out that your life's a whole lot more happy than you thought you were. Those are all the things that come with happiness. And if you are in a situation, whatever it might be, that is challenging or difficult, do you have the support around you that you need? I have a friend who calls me his sheepdog. Reason being is because what's a sheepdog's job is to round up the sheep and keep them safe. And so that's what I am for him, where, if he gets a little emotionally, then I will round him up. And the good news is that he has learned to reach out for help. And it's not always to me. And that's good. You got to have more than one person. It's nice to have a professional on your payroll. But, you got to make sure you're surrounded by good people. So, I don't know where I went with happiness. I'm suggesting ways and reminding you don't have to be happy all the time. You can absolutely go through stuff. And when you go through stuff, don't do it by yourself. Don't do it by yourself. Okay, so let's go back to happiness. There will I go unto the altar of God, and unto God my exceeding joy. Psalm 43:4. And happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection. Science of Mind 264. What I would say about both of those quotes is they remind us that we are never alone. We are never, ever, ever alone, because we always have the secret place of the Most High within us. That no matter what's going on, we can always go within and go to God. So, this one, I don't know. Did you ever stop to think whether those who meet you are glad to see you? I don't think about that. I don't. But I will say that as a general rule, I'm basically happy. But I think that's partly because I'm crazy. And I admit that and own it. So, what kind of messenger are you? I've told you more than once what kind of messenger I want to be. I want to be a safe place. I want to be an island of calm. I want, when you come into my presence, for you to feel safe and comfortable and warm or cool, whichever. I mean, it's hot right now, so cool. I want you to feel safe. And if we are happy together, then that's great. And if you need to sit in silence, I can do that too. Do you carry to others a spirit of happiness, or are you mantled in crepe? That is just an image, mantled in crepe. And here's the thing. there are going to be times that you are going to be mantled in crape, and it's okay. You do not have to hide your pain from others. What you want to endeavor to do is not inflict it upon them. So, and that's what I'm going to tell you. If you are mantled in crape, you are mantled in crape. You have every right to your pain, your sadness, your anger, your grief, whatever it is. What you don't want to do is inflict it on others. And then, because people can, when you are mantled in crape, they can offer support that they might not if they didn't know. Okay? So don't, he's not telling you not to be mantled in crape. He's just saying don't do it all the time. Let's see. Is there printed upon the page of your personality a tale of misery and failure that saddens the heart of all you meet? And let's be honest, I have a coworker like that, and she is definitely the misery that loves company. And the God's honest truth is, if there is something going on in our life, we don't tell her. And we don't tell her the good stuff, and we don't tell her the bad stuff. And the reason why we don't tell her the good stuff is because then she will endeavor to find something negative. If you know people like that in your life, you know people that it is not safe to trust the stuff going on in your life with, don't. Unfortunately for me, she knows I'm going to have cataract surgery, and it's a month and a half away. And I know that every time I see her, she's going to have questions about that surgery. And I don't need that. And at some point, I probably am going to look at her and say, you know what? Stop. So if you know people like that in your life, please tell them. All right. Or can there be read from your presence a message of joy and happiness and loveliness? How many are there who are messengers of loveliness? I know a lot of them because that's who I am. That's who I am. It is not difficult to be happy and lovely. And yet some days it is. And on those days when it is difficult to be happy and lovely, you do you take care of yourself. But again, let me remind you to not inflict it on others. Share it with others. Okay? Don't inflict it on them. And you know what I mean. You know the difference. Don't hole up in your darkness by yourself. If you've got good support around you, great, use it. And if you don't have good support around you, contact us and we will help you find good support. Where am I? One need only eliminate ugliness from the mind, choose beautiful things to discuss, refuse to use the words or ideas or reports that depress. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take issue with him right here. Yes, we want to eliminate the ugly things from the mind. Yes, we want to choose the beauty and choose the happiness. But where he says refuse to use words or ideas or reports that depress, I'm going to take issue with that. Because there are places where that is the point. There are places where you talk about those issues or reports or words or ideas. Choose wisely is what I'm saying. So it's not that you can't do that. It's not that you shouldn't do that. In fact, there are times that you should do that. Now, there are ways to do that. There are also safe places to do that. So if you need to do that, please find the safe, appropriate places to do that. Do we want to tell the tale of our woe to every stranger we meet? No. It's not good for us and it's not good for them. But there are appropriate places. Okay. The days of our lives fly by swiftly. Well, I felt that this morning. We are all messengers of joy, of loveliness, of happiness. And the cool thing about that is the length of time doesn't matter. There have been bright lights that have burned out quickly, and then there have been bright lights that have burned for a long time. and they have equal weight. They have equal weight in my life. Each day, if we are thoughtful and work at it, we can offer fine words and fine acts, inspiration, affection, courage, love, happiness to the hearts of others. And that is the point of spiritual practice. When we are connected, even if we're not necessarily feeling the happiness and the joy, we can plug into the eternal happiness, to the infinite joy, and we can allow it to flow through us. So even if we're not feeling it, we got a place to go. Always, 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 always. And always, happiness will be reflected back to us. I like happy and magical people. And yet, it's what I hear. I often hear Reverend Patty in my head occasionally, where when you're faced with a wounded bear, which when I mean somebody who's not happy, and when you have somebody who has every right not to be happy, what do you do with a wounded bear? Sometimes you just sit with the wounded bear. And then when you meet those people who are unhappy just because they want to be unhappy, feel free to walk away. It's not your job to fix them. Okay. So, all right, William Miller. The joy of spirit abounds in my heart and mind. The clear laughter of God lifts me above the unhappiness and grief. My ears are open to receive the joyful sounds of the ever unfolding life about me. The trill of a bird, the giggle of a child, the soft breeze on my cheek, all reveal to me the joyousness of God. My thoughts are filled with happiness, and my heart sings with love. The joy of living is mine. I always give you a mission. The mission today, should you choose to accept it. And I think I'm going to do a slightly different one today. I'm going to suggest that you do what I did in one form or another. Create a board of happiness. You can do it like I did with pictures that I took, because I included some of my sunrises, some of my sunsets, some of my squirrels, some of my blue jays, things that are beautiful. But I went back and I looked for those happy moments, and I created a reel for myself. So that is what I suggest for you today. That's your mission. I want you to create something that screams happiness to you, that when you have those moments that you can go back and look at and you can go, yes. String your happy points together. Remind yourself that in the weight of things, it's been more good than not. All right. I'm also going to suggest the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, whatever it looks like. Big, small, doesn't matter. Point is to be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself. Best place to practice is on yourself, because when you master that art of it on yourself, you can do it for anybody. Trust me, you can do it for anybody. All right. And then we can find ways to deliver news that is less than optimal in kind ways. Because sometimes we have to do reports that do depress, but we can find kind and loving and compassionate ways to do it. Okay. The rest of them are to do something to engage your mind and your body, to drink plenty of water, to get that early morning bright light, early in your day bright light. I mean, I get up at 6:30 in the morning. You may not. So when you do, add to it. And then open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. Emma's advice is to look for the good and praise it. Same with the mission today. Look for the happy points in your life. String them together. String them together in such a way. Create a photo album. Create a photo, like I did a PowerPoint. create a vision board, something that shows your happiness. Something that shows your happiness. Paint a picture. Write a poem. Write a song. Whatever medium you use. And there it went. And I should probably... Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta change clothes. So, email us at info@creativelife.org. Get on our constant contact. That way you will know what's going on. I just completely lost track of time today. Have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a fantastic day, a Friday. I get to go to the park tomorrow. Yay. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased always and forever. All right, beloveds. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. because, like I said, tomorrow's Saturday. I get to go to the park. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.